Hello everyone, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on the 2021 Yamaha MT09. This is currently the bike I'm working on. I have these Depretto Revenge SS. Whether you get the Evo or the SS, it's the same install. These things are lovely. It's one piece aluminum. They feel great, they're heavy, they look premium, they're well worth the money. When you get the kit, you get two of these. And these come sealed, so you should definitely buy the kit. I don't think it only comes as a kit. And then you get an extractor. This extractor, right now it currently has the piece that I just struggled with and tried to figure out, how the heck do I use this thing? What you do, you see currently this is how it looks after you extract what you're trying to extract. But for the life of me, I was like, what do you do with this bloody thing? So basically what you do, guys, is you put it on here. Okay, you center it up so it's all correct. The outside bolt, you screw all the way in. I'm going to do this with one hand, shittily. You screw it all the way in. So this outside, this bolt right here where my thumb is, you screw it all the way in. Then once it's all the way in, you hold the outside bolt with a socket and you make sure you hold it still. And you start tightening this inside bolt. And what ends up happening if you're doing it correctly is this inside bolt starts to come out, but you're holding it, if that makes sense. So you're tightening the inside bolt. I can't even tighten it anymore, but basically you're tightening it and you're going to see some metal shavings come off. I don't know if I zoom in here, you can see there's a little bit of metal shavings and whatever. That's totally normal. You tighten this interior bolt while holding the exterior bolt. And slowly this bolt starts to come back out. And then once it comes out, I don't know, mine came out, mine was about there when it came out. The thing just magically pops out. And inside, if I do this with one hand, sorry. Inside your goal, you really have to screw it in there. Oh my God, this is taking forever. This is what comes out of the inside. So if anyone wonders, this is what you're trying to take out. I'll try and show the other side right now, but mystery solved. Had no idea how to use this thing. This thing works wonderful. I'm so glad they included it in the kit. It made the whole job so much easier, no drilling. Like, it's really nice to be able to have that. But I will show you how to do the other side step by step in case this explanation was not enough for you. One sec. Okay, so step one is you ignore the instructions because Italian to English sucks. Okay, it's rocket science. If you haven't done so already, you take out the bar end. Use the little Allen key, you screw it all the way out. Okay, so step two, now that the magic of video has taken over, you basically, oh, this is really funky because I'm trying to show it on the other end. But you take your tool, and the correct configuration is washer, nut, and then bolt. So you take this and you put it on, and basically you're aiming to line it up in the middle, just like so. Doesn't matter where the bolt, actually it does matter where the bolt is. Give me 1 second here, I'll pause it. I'll show you the correct way. Okay, now that I've corrected it, you take this and you put it on. This is how I did it before, it was a little easier. So you turn it for about 10 to 15 screws. It doesn't really matter. They say 10 to whatever. I didn't bother to focus on that. I'll screw it in a little bit more. So this is kind of how I did it before. And you keep screwing until you can't screw it anymore. Okay. So once you can't hot and tighten it, take your, what is this? A 10mm socket. And you put it on the end. And all you're doing is tightening the bolt. Okay, you're not tightening the washer, you're just tightening that outside bolt. So you snug it down. Okay. So I snugged it down, nice and easy, like so, just until that inside bolt starts to turn. Now what you're gonna do is a two-handed operation. I'm going to try my best to demo this for you. Probably won't be able to do it with one hand, but the theory is the same. So what you do, your socket is on the outside. Okay. So you hold the socket right there. If I could get it. There we go. So right there. And then you take your wrench and you put it on the inside bolt. And you start tightening. So remember, guys, you're tightening the inside bolt. And you just keep turning it until the outside bolt starts to come out. So I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to show you what it should look like. So this is literally the setup. And as you're turning it, you're just turning this inside wrench upwards and down, and you're just going to start working at it until it starts to push out. So I'll show you what that looks like in a second here. Also, make sure your ratchet is on the correct setting. So if you hear it clicking, you're on the wrong setting because it's actually not doing anything. So you have to hold that center bolt still, the center bolt with the ratchet, and tighten the inside nut. So it's been about 5 turns. You see I'm making progress. The center tube is lined up. You have to make sure that's lined up. If it doesn't line up, it won't work. And this is about after 5, maybe 6 turns. So I'll keep going. So this is about after 15 to 20 turns. I've literally not done anything different. I'm holding this bolt still with this black socket. And then I'm continuing to tighten this nut. I'm going to keep going and I'll show you what happens eventually. So eventually it just pops off. And inside, like magic, is that bar end that you were trying to pop up. So I hope you found this video helpful for the Depretto Moto mirrors. I might make a part 2 on actually installing them, but honestly, I think installing them is the easiest part so far, only because I cannot imagine how hard it is to put the mirror inside of 2 washers with the bolt. And they give you this nice diagram. But the rest of this, zero, I would say the Italian translation was garbage. And then the English didn't really make sense, but it took me maybe 15, 20 minutes to figure this out because it just said screw the nut and then 10 to 15 turns. It's not 10 to 15 turns. You put it all the way in. So hopefully you found this video helpful. These instructions were kind of confusing, but yeah, enjoy. Now this is for a 2021 Yamaha MT09. I will make a video after of the mirrors, but already with the Depretto Moto windshield and then with the bar end mirrors, this bike is totally the way it should have been from the factory. So I'll make another follow-up video and show you kind of what the after effect looks like, because I could not find a video or any information, anyone who's really installed this and what they looked like and what their thoughts were. So I'll do a video on that after. Hope you found this video helpful. Okay guys, I'm back. This is part 2 of the Depretto Moto mirror Italian garbage instructions that make no sense. I'm here to help you figure it out. Okay, so this I have, excuse my poor cameramanship while I fungle with the hands. These are very expensive mirrors, so I'm sure you'll understand me not wanting to drop them. This is the left side mirror. So on here, I'm going to show you. Starting, and it also shows on the diagram. Okay, so when you're doing the right mirror and the left mirror, just hold it in your hand and make sure that it's facing out. Okay, you have the directions here. So the bolt on the outside followed by the one piece and the washer. These are directional washers, so they are oriented, like they're warped a certain way. So if they're not flush, like this one's flush, it's the correct way, like it's convex or concave. If it's not the right way, you've put it on the wrong side. There's no way. These come pre-assembled. It's nice and easy. You just have to make sure. Like I had 2 rights. It didn't make sense, so I had to switch one of them. And long story short, it's just, you just double check before you put them on, because I've put them on twice now and I realized, oh, I put them on backwards because the mirror is facing inwards. Okay, so you have the outside bolt, super simple. The inside one here, I'll take this all off for educational purposes. Okay, so this interior one, nice and easy. It doesn't matter, like the mirror is the same on both sides, so you put that on like that. The next bit to go on is this bit. You put the big, I don't know, the bigger side on the inside there. Now, one of these is completely has no threads in it. The other one has threads in it. So you find the one that doesn't have threads in it. So this one doesn't have threads in it. And you're going to put it on the end, like so. And then with the other one that has threads in it, you put it on, like so. And you tighten it so it's flush. So, I don't know, you can screw it on. You can do it screw it on either way, either end, doesn't matter, however you get it on. So give me 1 sec. So now that it's on, I put it on just enough so I can't pull it off, because I would imagine this is a pain if it came off inside of the bike, but not enough where it protrudes, because you see it flushes, so that's how it locks itself in the handlebar, I'm assuming. When you tighten it, the threads come down and they kind of lock themselves into the bar, which is kind of cool. So the final step is you walk over to the bike, you step over the dog and you walk over to the bike. And over here to the bike. You do not drop these mirrors because you will cry and you will wait forever for them to come from Italy. No, they didn't take that long to come from Italy. But these are really nice mirrors. The build quality is really nice. I will do a proper review after. So right now I'm doing the left side. Okay, we haven't done anything. Nothing's changed. There's nothing inside. You do not put the stock. You don't use anything stock with this. It's completely its own kit. You don't need anything stock. You push it all the way in so it's flush, and then you just continue to tighten the end. And you just hold the mirror so it doesn't fall. There's no chance of you damaging it. So I'm just going to pause the video. Okay, so I had to do it twice over, and the reason was the first time I put it on, if you're sitting here spinning the bolt and you're not making any progress, take it out and tighten the end. You know, those two bits that I showed you should be flush. Tighten the screw here while holding the end bit a little bit more. Then put it back in and try to tighten again. Now when I tighten it, whoa, that was really close to smashing the bar. But what you do is you just tighten it a little bit more and it will magically start to happen. So give me 1 second here. Okay, so now that I haven't smashed my new mirror, it's going to stay in place because I've tightened a little bit more here. But like what I was trying to say before, just don't, if it's too loose, you'll sit here and it'll just spin. If it's too tight, you won't be able to put it in. So you just find that sweet point and then it will go in magically. It's not too bad. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to figure all this out, but overall, really happy with the quality. Now they've said to leave it loose, get on the bike, roughly adjust it, tighten it, whatever. I'll do that later, but these mirrors look awesome on this bike. So I'm going to do the other side and I will show you the finished look. Just to clarify what I was saying before, this end bit, if this is too loose, like these two bits, and your bolt isn't tight enough into that end, you're just going to put it in and it's just going to spin because it doesn't have the traction to hold on to this bottom bit and actually thread. So the thing will just continue spinning. So you just have to make sure it's not too loose, it's not too tight, and that these two, like right now I'd say that's too loose. So I'd put my Allen key in the end, I'd hold this, let it tighten a little bit, put it in the bike, try and tighten it, and just repeat until you find that sweet point, and it will magically start to tighten and lock into place. Okay, so here's the finished result of the Evo Mirror SS from Depretto Moto, however you say it. They're a really nice mirror. They feel really solid. I think it's worth the money. Obviously, they're on the expensive side. I looked at eBay. I tried to find other kits. Honestly, it's worth the money. Only if you're like me and you just kind of don't want to fuss around with, trying to get that thing out of the bar end. And I really liked how the kit came with everything I needed. So for me, it was well worth the money. I know they're a quality product. I did buy the Evo windscreen, which I really, really like. It's been a great windscreen, styling wise, and as well performance wise. Just being on the bike makes a huge difference. Sitting on here, it's wide enough where you can set it to see your blind spot for the kind of riding I like to do. I like seeing farther behind me for like group rides and seeing people in my blind spots. So I'm going to adjust these a little bit. There is just a little Allen key on the back of the mirror. Hopefully you can see that, but you just loosen them and adjust them. For the most part, I have them 80% of where I want them, depending on how I'm sitting. But we'll see after I ride it for the first time. I really like the width, like this corner mirror. I know it sounds really stupid, but I feel like when I actually set it up correctly, I'm just going to be able to see a little bit more to the left. And as well, I can see really far behind me, which is really nice. So obviously it takes some time, get them set up, but pretty easy to install. I would say they're a 10 out of 10 for quality. Difficulty, hopefully with this video makes it, I don't know, maybe a 3 or a 4, but with the Italian instructions, I would say that was like a good 6 out of 10. It wasn't difficult, like I'm pretty mechanically savvy, but it took me some time to figure it out just with the translation and whatnot. And you can even see dogs in your blind spot. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Leave a comment if you do need some help with it, but yeah, hopefully you get these mirrors because they are wonderful. They're a great mirror, the quality. The only thing I might change in the future is getting a bar end, but I don't mind the look. I also have the block offs. I bought the extra block offs just for being able to keep them clean and not have to clean out the, you know, do it the proper way so it's not exposed. Don't over tighten these. There's absolutely no need to over tighten these. They're just supposed to come in and screw in by hand and that's it. They're supposed to be easily removable. So don't harp on them because there is no threading. They're just hand tightened to get them in and out. So hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for your time.